Herbie, and I'm talking to you about herbs and spices. The herb I want to talk about today is basil. Now, basil is a very well-known herb. It's one that has been around for centuries, and it's one that most people are familiar with because it's quite easy to grow, and of course it has a wonderful flavour that we tend to associate mostly with Italian food. There are many different varieties of basil. This one beside me here is the most common variety, generally referred to as sweet basil, and it has quite large leaves, and even just sitting here beside it, before I've crushed leaves or anything, I'm getting the most beautiful basil aroma from it. It's really fantastic. When you're growing basil at home, you do need to grow it during the warmer months of the year. It doesn't like cold weather, and you'll find it will die off completely. Another good little point that's worth mentioning, a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I can't grow herbs very well, they always die on me. Now you've got to remember that a lot of the herbs that you grow are what we call annuals. An annual is a plant that will grow during the growing season, it will flower, it will go to seed, and then it will die. That's part of its natural cycle. A perennial, say like rosemary, is a plant that will grow all year round and will grow from year to year. So you can see with the basil plant here, we're getting towards the end of summer in Australia, and the plant is starting to flower and it will eventually go to seed. If you want your basil plant to last for longer and you don't want it dying off too quickly, we always recommend nipping these flower heads off as soon as they appear. You've all heard the saying, nip it in the bud. Well, if you pick off these flower heads and you actually prevent the plant from flowering and going to seed, it'll live for longer. The other thing too is this picking will encourage more new growth, and you'll have a lovely healthy plant like this that you can harvest regularly to make pesto and to put with your tomato sauces and all those lovely dishes. Something else that I find very interesting about basil is when you crush the leaves and you smell them, you get this beautiful, almost clove-like aroma. Now, something that's really fascinating about the plant kingdom is that there is a spice called cloves, native to the Indonesian archipelago, no relation at all to basil. However, both basil and cloves contain a volatile oil that is called eugenol. So you get this similar substance in both of these items. Now you might think, well, big deal, what's the point of knowing that? But what it means is that if you're making something like a pasta sauce and you want to enhance the flavour a little bit more, and even if you don't have some basil, you can always put in a tiny pinch of cloves and you'll get that lovely eugenol note coming through, which will work extremely well. Basil, as we say, is quite an easy plant to grow, likes a good sunny position, reasonably well-drained soil, and most herbs will do well if they're not over-fertilised. Herbs are pretty hardy, and so they don't require too much attention. They always do need to be grown outside though. You can't really grow them as indoor plants. Like a lot of us, they like the sunshine and they like fresh air. So a lot of the other varieties of basil that you might grow, there's a bush basil which is quite common. Main difference is that the leaves are very small. You don't get this quite large leaf like you see on this one. Basil is something that we've made lots of pesto this summer, and actually I'm going to pick a bit of basil now. We're having spaghetti bolognese for dinner tonight, and I'm going to just garnish it with some fresh basil because it's always good with a fresh herb to not cook it for too long. You always want to add it towards the end of cooking time, don't add it at the beginning, because if you cook a fresh herb for too long, you'll drive off those lovely fresh volatile notes and you won't get the best sort of flavour. So I'm going to pick some of this basil and enjoy it.